Hey guys, what's up? I am back with a brand new video and it's time to do a speed test comparison between the Poco X3 Pro versus the Realme 7 Pro. And Realme 7 Pro has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G, while the X3 Pro has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 860, which is a flagship processor from Qualcomm. We also have 8 GB of RAM on both these two devices, and also we have quad cameras on both phones. We have main 64 megapixel main camera on the Realme 7 Pro as compared to main 14 megapixel main camera on the Poco X3 Pro. So I am really excited to see that how is the Realme 7 Pro is perform against the X3 Pro when it comes of apps opening speed as well as in the boot up test. So without any wasting time, let's get right into it. Both phones is completely off. Now let's start off with the boot up test between these two devices. Here we go. And faster on the Realme 7 Pro, followed by the Poco X3 Pro, and Poco X3 Pro is running on Android 11 as compared to Android 10. We have a Realme Y 1.0 as compared to MIUI version 12. And Poco X3 Pro faster there when it comes to booting up, while the Realme 7 Pro it is also right behind there, about 1 or 2 second difference. And also both phones give you a very similar display. We have Full HD IPS LCD display with 120Hz refresh rate display as compared to Full HD Super AMOLED display with a 60Hz refresh rate display. And also both phones give you a punch hole which is on the center on the X3 Pro as compared to on the left hand side on the Realme 7 Pro. Okay guys, everything's closed up in the background, no app is running in the background, and also we have same Wi-Fi network on both phones. Now let's see phone dialer, that is exactly the same on both phones. So next on the list is the settings, that is little more faster on the Realme 7 Pro if I'm not wrong. Now let's see the scrolling, again much smoother on the Poco X3 Pro because of the 120Hz refresh rate display. So now let's see Amazon shopping on both phones. Faster on the X3 Pro followed by the Realme 7 Pro, about 1 second difference there. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is feels really smooth on the Poco X3 Pro. Now let's see some games application. Now let's start off with the Candy Crush Saga. We have a Snapdragon 860 versus the Snapdragon 720G, huge faster on the Poco X3 Pro, and the Realme 7 Pro it is not really right behind. Let's see pin out, little bit more faster on the Poco X3 Pro. Now let's see Subway Surfer on both phones. Faster again on the Poco X3 Pro. Now let's see the Temple Run 2 on both phones, last game application we have in this speed test. And again Poco X3 Pro it is huge faster than the Realme 7 Pro in the Temple Run 2 application, which means that everything it is really fast on the Poco X3 Pro because of their 860 processor. Now let's opening up the Twitter. Faster on the Realme 7 Pro followed by the Poco X3 Pro. Zedge, and that is a little bit more faster on the Poco X3 Pro followed by the Realme 7 Pro. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is feels more smoother on the Poco X3 Pro as compared to the Realme 7 Pro. Now let's see YouTube on both phones, and that is I would say a little more faster on the Realme 7 Pro in the start. Now let's see the scrolling, feels more smoother on the Poco X3. Again we have 120Hz. That's Spotify, that is exactly the same, more faster on the Poco X3 Pro, and you can see. Let's see Snapchat, faster again on the X3 Pro. So last time we're launching the cameras on both phones, default camera app. Now let's see that which one is going to be the fastest one, and that is more faster on the Poco X3 Pro, just a tiny bit more faster there. Now let's see internet browsing speed. I am using for Google Chrome on both phones. Now let's see wikipedia.org, faster on the Poco X3 Pro. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is exactly the same on both phones because I don't see any 120Hz refresh rate madness on the Poco X3 Pro right now. I think that this application it is not really optimized right now for the Poco X3 Pro. Next on the list is the apple.com, and faster on the X3 Pro, and you can see, followed by the Realme 7 Pro. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is feels more smoother on the X3 Pro. Yes, I can see the 120Hz as compared to 60Hz on the Realme 7 Pro. So guys, now let's see the RAM measurement. and we have 8 GB of RAM on both phones. Phone dialer, that is refresh. Let's see settings, no refresh. Amazon shopping, refresh again on the Poco X3 Pro. Let's see Candy Crush Saga, refresh. Let's see pinout, refresh. Let's see Subway Surfer, let's see Temple Run 2, and you can see same result, refresh on the Poco X3 Pro. Opening up the router, that is seems like not refresh because I don't see the complete animation. Zedge, and that is refresh. So RAM management is really bad on the X3 Pro. Same thing with the YouTube as well. Spotify, refresh. So now let's see Snapchat, refresh again. Last we are back to the internet browser where we left, and you can see. And guys, what I have to say regarding the app's opening speed is definitely huge faster on the Poco X3 Pro, as you can see in system-based application as well as in game map in time. In terms of the RAM management wise, Realme 7 Pro, it is a much better phone than the Poco X3 Pro. Up the RAM management will improve with some software updates on the Poco X3 Pro. That's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Poco X3 Pro versus the Realme 7 Pro. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you are new here, and I will catch you in my next video. Peace out.